Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. Got some breaking news for you this morning. On this, and all three URLs are in the description of the video. First one here is off of cbslocal.com out of Minnesota, and it says, Inmate escapes from Minnesota Correctional Facility. And my computer is jumping around here, of course. This thing settle down. Here we go. An inmate escaped. Whoops. There we go. An inmate escaped Friday morning from the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Stillwater, according to the prison. Authorities are looking for 40-year-old Patrick James Buswell, who they say walked away from the minimum security Friday. The Department of Corrections says his electronic monitoring device was found by local police. Buswell was serving a 60-month sentence for a weapons offense. He was working on the grounds of the correctional facility when he walked away from his crew and left the institution grounds. According to Bayport Police Chief Laura Eastman, the electronic monitoring device was an ankle monitor. She says it's the first time in her 9 years as chief that she's heard of this happening. Her and other police officers have been going door to door, checking with homeowners, searching homes, etc. People leave their homes unlocked in the area. Eastman says it's possible that Buswell was picked up and is no longer in the area. Past history has shown that many of the minimum security offenders have rides set up already, Eastman said. We're not going to make that assumption, so we're going to turn over every rock, but it is likely that he was picked up and he's not in the area, but we want to make sure the community's safe. We're going to continue to search all the houses. Buswell was accused of crashing into a police cruiser last fall. He had a weapon in his car at that time. He is described as standing 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighs approximately 205 pounds with brown eyes and black hair. No one should attempt to apprehend Buswell. Corrections cautions. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to call 911 or the fugitive tip line at 651-603-0026. Last month, 3 men were charged after leaving a Wisconsin correctional facility. This is off of fox9.com, and it says prison escape. Van full of Lino Lakes. There we go. A van full of Lino Lakes, Minnesota inmates stolen. Minnesota, one inmate of the Lino Lakes, Minnesota State Prison remains at large after escaping the prison and stealing a van, according to the Minnesota Department of Corrections. At the MCF, Lino Lakes took control of a 2011 white Ford van with Minnesota license plate 9 EPJ with multiple offenders in the vehicle. The inmate at large has been identified as Minnesota DOC as James Mitchell, according to Minneapolis police. He was last seen wearing blue jeans, a white t-shirt, and white tennis shoes. The stolen van has been recovered in North Minneapolis, police confirmed. A warning from Minneapolis police advises anyone from Penn Avenue to Thomas Avenue and Downing Avenue to 42nd Avenue to stay in their homes and call 911 to report suspicious activity. Police are tracking Mitchell with a K-9 unit through Northside neighborhoods. This 5 inmates who were initially in the stolen van have been identified as James Mitchell, Kevin Mitchell, Dylan I guess it is, Paul Thunder, and Mitchell Stalsman. Lakes is a minimum security prison with a population of 1,300 inmates. Lino Lakes is also a site of the Minnesota Sex Offender Treatment Program, which can house 270 offenders. James Mitchell was charged last October with hitting a U.S. Marshal with a stolen SUV. Mitchell was charged with a first-degree assault for using deadly force against a peace officer and also for fleeing a police officer. On October 6th, officers from multiple agencies were attempting to execute warrants for Mitchell's arrest. He was wanted for burglary and assault, 3 other cases in Hennepin County, as well as a Ramsey County case. Authorities found him sitting in the driver's seat of a stolen Cadillac SUV Minneapolis, with 2 women in the back seat. When the officers started to approach him and attempt to arrest him, Mitchell put the SUV in reverse, hitting a deputy U.S. Marshal. The forces pinned the Marshal against a K9 squad car. While he was pinned, he heard the engine rev and was afraid he would be crushed. The Marshal's protective vest, however, contained a plate which saved him from more severe injuries. And that's a developing story, so there'll be more coming out on that one. And the final article that I have for you, prisoner steal van escaped from Lino Lakes. Minneapolis neighborhood searching for one of a handful of inmates who stole a van and escaped Friday morning. The Department of Corrections, DOC, confirms that an offender at the MCF Lino Lakes took control of a 2011 white Ford van with Minnesota license plate 937EPJ and escaped with multiple offenders inside. Sky 11 supports reports that shortly after noon, the van was located near the intersection of 38th and Thomas Avenue, still inside. The multi-passenger van was in a driveway with the doors open and police vehicles littered the alley behind the house. Confirmed that 3 of the escapees are back in custody, with K9 teams canvassed the neighborhood looking for one prisoner, identified as James Douglas Mitchell, who remains unaccounted for. He was last seen wearing jeans and a white t-shirt and white tennis shoes. The police sent out a tweet urging residents from Penn to Thomas Avenues and Dowling to 42nd to stay in their homes with locked doors. This is a developing situation. Anyone who spots Mitchell is warned not to approach him and immediately call 911. So there you have it. It looks like there's been a whole slew of people from these minimum security prisons in Minneapolis or from Minnesota escaping today. So if you are in that area, well, if you're in any area, because who knows where some of these people will be, you know, stay alert and aware of your surroundings and what's going on around you. There you have it. If you like what I'm doing, share it on your social media. Give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that, and that way you'll stay informed.